I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again here now, that time is the most precious resource that we have, because once it's gone, you can never get it back. So in this lesson, you're going to learn the importance of conducting a time audit. Now, a time audit is a tool that I've used throughout my career with many different employees, and including myself, to help us understand how we're spending our time. You come away armed with the insights of then not only how you're spending your time, but what you may be able to do to change it so that you can actually have time back, so you can focus on things that actually provide value. Because the truth is, as a leader, you have less and less time available. There's a lot of things that require your attention. There could be times where you're firefighting, you're trying to deal with challenging situations or people. You want to try and mitigate problems that happen well in advance, but it's hard when you don't have enough time. The reality is a lot of people, as leaders, get stuck managing their team, their business, their career on autopilot. It's because they don't have time. Now, you might be wondering first, where do most leaders spend their time? Well, I said before, they attend a lot of mediocre meetings. That's the number one time suck for managers of any level. Doesn't matter if you're a manager, director, executive, they're stuck in meetings. They might have a never-ending wave of emails that they need to get back into. People who want to just touch base, they want to check in, they want to shoot the breeze instead of following an agenda. They get interrupted. Or maybe they're interrupting other people. You see, there's so many different things that kind of suck away our time as leaders, so we need to get better at managing time. The goal should be to become more efficient, more productive, so we actually don't have to work as hard or as long as we sometimes are. You don't need to do more, you just need to prioritize and set goals. Eliminate the wasted effort. Work smarter, not harder. So this is where a time audit comes into play. So time audit is very, very simple to do. Essentially, spend 1 week documenting how you spend your time. I'll put it into a document where you're basically going to be breaking your day out into 15-minute increments. Create a log of what was completed. I always say code everything into categories. Now, the categories might differ depending on what you're trying to work through, but I advocate having categories such as meeting, task, email, interruption, and waste. So in the 15-minute section on my sheet or in my document, if it was a meeting, I'll just put M. If it goes for an hour, there's 4 M's in a row. So classify everything that you have. So then at the end of the week, add up all the categories and see where your time is spent. You might be shocked by what happened. Maybe you see a lot of waste, which means like absolutely nothing of value happened. You were stuck on Facebook, or you were doing things you shouldn't have done, or you're interrupted by people. So add up those categories, add up those increments in the 15-minute sections, add up the things that you see to see what ultimately is your habits that you've created with your time. Now, the key part is that you do something with the insights gained. You have to work to improve your time moving forward to be more effective. So whether that means saying no to meetings, say no to meetings because you know those are not effective. Maybe you need to focus more on the priorities. Don't get bogged down by useless stuff that's not worthy of your time. Maybe people are interrupting you too much. I always say respect the person, but don't respect the interruption. They may ask for help, they might come by to socialize, but don't be rude if you're just not able to help them or talk with them at that moment. Schedule it at a time that's more convenient so it doesn't disrupt your flow. If you're just finding there's a ton of waste and distractions, well, get rid of the distractions. You want to have as much productive time as possible, and doing a time audit, as simple as it sounds, will make a world of difference for you. Again, there's only so much time available. Traditionally, most people work 40 hours per week, so every moment that we have counts. Now, I can tell you from the research that I've done is that most people don't work that long. The average productivity in North America, or in most of the world actually, is about 2 hours and 53 minutes. I live in Canada. That average is actually even worse than that. It's 1.5 hours, which means there's not a lot of productive time that people actually have. As leaders, there's not as much productive time, but then leaders are forced to work longer. They're sometimes self-imposing on themselves. They're staying late. They're working on weekends, trying to catch up. It's because they've had really, honestly, like the least valuable use of their time possible because of all these things that you'll see as part of a time audit. If you can do this, if you can do a time audit, be consistent with it, bring it into practice and do it on a quarterly basis. You might be surprised about the results, but the key is that you take action and do something about it. with the insights that are gained.